The Tomb of Fire is a 1 in 1000 and we probably won't get it, but it's on the list. So this is Recipe Man and welcome to my Hardcore Ironmen Progress series. The objective for this series is to get to Zulrah and hopefully not plank before that. Last episode we unlocked the Agility Pyramid and made 50,000 GP, and now we're moving on to phase 2 of our game plan. This is the game plan and we're headed to the barrows to grab some gear. But first we need to make some preparations. The first thing on our list is 83 magic. 83 magic is the level required to teleport to barrows and should speed up our barrows grind. And we will need 50 construction to put that teleport in a portal. We're also throwing 43 prayer up there for good measure, and this is our starting point. We're a long way away from where we need to be, but it's alright, we have a plan. But before we do that, we're gonna set up some passive grinds so we can play on mobile while we're not at our desktop. Our first passive grind is going to be fishing, so we can fish karam bombs when we need them. And just in case you're wondering, this is where we spent our first 50k. 5,000 feathers should do it. If we hit any important milestones, I should let you know. Otherwise, it's just going to be happening in the background, nothing to worry about. And the other passive grind we're doing is wood cutting. This has two purposes. We need level 60 wood cutting to access the wood cutting guild where we can buy a rune axe. And the wood cutting guild has the best sawmill operator, so it's kind of a no-brainer. We're going to need to use that for 50 construction, or if we go learn further than that. Alright then, on to the main objective. Our first stop is going to be the Winter Tod. The first item on our equipment wishlist is going to be the Tomb of Fire. It's a great best in slot item with magic accuracy, and not to mention the 50% damage boost for fire-based spells. So we need 55 making to get to the Winter Tod. Also on our list are the Rune Axe and the Rune Crossbow. We're gonna get 60 wood cutting in no time, so the Rune Axe is more or less settled, but the Rune Crossbow is a little more tricky. As a hardcore Ironman, the best way to get a Rune Crossbow is to fletch one, and fletching is a big part of the Winter Tod. So, you know, two birds with one stone. And 55 making took no time at all, there it is. We need to make some preparations before we head off to the Winter Tod. We want to get into the Winter Tod with at least 20 construction, so we're getting a player-owned house. Property prices are insane, but this guy knows what he's doing. We're left with 37k from the Agility Pyramid and we're gonna use it to make some planks. A little bit of back and forth at the sawmill, but there's no problem at all, we got all the planks that we needed. We're about to head into our player-owned house for the very first time, landmark moment for the account, and we're gonna start training construction. Home sweet home. Starting strong with level 2 construction, and we are now the proud owner of 2 chairs. We're out of supplies and we're using files here to unload some of our planks. This method is relatively cheap and it's way more convenient than using the bank, so... It's been a minute, but we now have 3 chairs and a bookcase and things are really coming together. Level 20 construction, we're done here. We're almost ready to go to Winter Tod, we just need to get some warm clothing. We're picking up the scarf from Django and getting some pieces of the Clue Hunter outfit. We need 4 pieces of warm clothing in total, so we're getting the cape, and the boots and gloves are together in one spot. So there we go. Along the way we stole something like 1,000 cakes, so we should be all set for food. Okay, we made it to the Winter Tod. Now, the goals that we're looking at. We're here at the Winter Tod to get the Tomb of Fire, but we also have secondary objectives. The goal is 55 fletching to make broad-tipped bolts, or if we can make it 69 fletching to make a rune crossbow. We're also here for the Pyromancer robes because you need it for elite clues later on. While getting the Tomb of Fire would be great, it's a 1 in 1000 and there's no guarantees, so we're gonna try to check off as many items off this list as we can. If you didn't notice from the last clip, we are also 60 wood cutting and it's time to get into the wood cutting guild. We officially have 75% Hosida's favor and can now enter the wood cutting guild, so we're gonna grab a rune axe and head back to the Winter Tod. One thing I love about this game, making goals and reaching them. We're about to enter the wood cutting guild for the very first time and we can go ahead and buy a rune axe. We saved up quite a bit of money from doing Winter Tod and I think it's better than doing the Agility Pyramid. So we now have close to 200k and we can buy the rune axe. Checking the very first item off our wish list, here we go. Very nice. So we're up to 250 Winter Tod completions and we're looking for the second item on our wish list. The Dragon Axe. So the Dragon Axe is a 1 in 10k, which is a pretty rare drop and definitely an upgrade on the Rune Axe. It's a welcome drop, but we still need the Tomb of Fire. So if you're seeing a clip, something's about to happen. We have 41 supply crates to open and we're at KC 351. We've gotten the Dragon Axe, but we have yet to get the Tomb of Fire and everyone likes a little bit of foreshadowing, I think. So let's begin. Alright, first pet on the Hardcore Ironman. That's pretty impressive. We now have the 1 in 10k, the Dragon Axe, and we also have the pet, a 1 in 5k. We're still missing the Tomb of Fire, which I hope comes pretty soon. I hope. Alright, so we have 400 crates in, and I think it's time to set the lose case scenario. We're really considering the case where we might not get the Tomb of Fire because it is a 1 in 1000 It does not matter how crazily lucky we have been so far, we might not get what we're looking for. So, our bank tab now looks like this, 500k in cash, we almost have the full Pyromancer, and we have the Dragon Axe and the pet. Right now we're staying for the Pyromancer rope bottoms because that's our elite clue step. And once we get that, I'll be quite comfortable leaving the Winter Thought. We've done well so far. Hey, 94 fire making coming in. We passed the halfway to 99 some time ago. KC 462 and we have some crates to open and there it is, the Pyromancer Garb. There it is. This is the last item we definitely needed from the Winter Thought and we are ready to leave. The Pyromancer rope took some time. It's one piece that we definitely needed for elite clues in the future. So it's great to get it out of the way right now. We got the Pyromancer Garb at KC 462, which is not a very nice round number, so here are exactly 38 more supply crates. We just completed our 500 run at the Winter Thought, and this would be it. We're leaving the Winter Thought after this. So if one of these crates would be so kind to give me a Tome of Fire, that would be fantastic. And that's it, we're done. No Tome of Fire. Our bank tab looks like this with 3.2 mil, and we have the Dragon Axe alongside the Fire Making Pad. And collection log for posterity, here it is, 500 Winter Thought KC. From our time at the Winter Thought, there are a few key skill levels that we reached that we should take note of. The first of which is that we are now 62 fletching. We can now make broad-tipped bolts, and in 7 levels we can make our own rune crossbow. More on that later. The next 2 key levels, we are 33 magic alongside 22 crafting. We got some runes from the Mage Arena and used some of our Winter Thought supplies to train crafting. We made a games necklace to make it easier to come back to the Winter Thought. Overall, our time at the Winter Thought was time well spent and it's time to move on. Now that we have broken free from our winter prison, it's time to do some quests. But before that, I want to talk about the Tomb of Fire. We haven't got it yet, but that's okay, it'll just take us a little longer to reach our goals. You'll get what I mean later on. This next part, we're going to be hunting for the Rune Crossbow and 43 Prayer. To do that, we need to take down an Iron Dragon, and for that, we need an anti-fire shield. And for that, we need 32 quest points, so Sheep Shearer, Ernest the Chicken, Vampire Slayer, Goblin Diplomacy, and Doric's Quest. We can now enter the Champions Guild and start Dragon Slayer 1. We have no plans to complete the quest right now, and we have the shield, so let's move on. Our dragon slaying journey took us back to the Isle of Souls where we were after 2 things. The first of which is a pair of Runite limbs. Iron dragons drop Runite limbs at a rate of 1 in 25, so if we stay here long enough, we should get lucky. So far, the fight is not going well. We're almost out of food and the Iron Dragon still has most of its HP, so we should get going. The second item we're going for are Dragon Bones. We're going to collect them and bring them to the Ectofunctus for the best XP we can get. Before going for a second Iron Dragon attempt, we also got some gear upgrades. We made an Amulet of Magic for a plus 10 magic boost, and we bullied these poor fella into giving us some ropes. We got both the top and the bottoms, and if you did not know, the bottoms actually do give a magic bonus. Nice. We also kind of splurged on food a bit to make sure the trip went smoothly. This second attempt is going much better, we're almost all out of food again, but this time the dragon's health is very low. We're also using Wind Blast this time around because we just got the magic level to do so, but we're gonna make a change of plan. Iron Dragons is gonna be one of those monsters where it's gonna be a lot easier to kill later on with higher levels. So instead of hunting the Runite limbs right now, we're gonna wait till later where we get better gear and better levels and this thing should go a lot easier. So we're gonna carry on with our Blue Dragon grind and get the bones we need for 43 Prayer. We need a total of 165 bones, so this is going to take a minute. So yes, before you say anything, it finally happened. I say finally, but it happened way too soon. This one was on me, I totally messed up. I thought I was on a safe tile, but I guess not. I might have been one tile too far out. Do not AFK if you're a hardcore Ironman, don't do it, it's just not worth it. Log out, then log back in, thank me later. So for now, this is what we're gonna do. The way I see it, I was always gonna lose my status, it was gonna be a matter of when and how. The way I see it, this is a blessing. We can play the game way more riskier, but also a lot more efficiently. And because we lost our status early, we can reap the full benefits. This account is still in the early game and I did give it a bit of thought if I wanted to restart on a fresh hardcore Ironman, but no. Recipe Man is my main iron from now on. We're gonna experience the game together. That being said, let's get back to it. Our item wishlist is coming in looking a little weak, getting only 1 out of the 3 items that we were hoping to get. At this stage, the Tomb of Fire is a luxury and not a necessity, so we kind of have to let it go. It's entirely RNG based and it's time for me to move on. For the Rune Crossbow, we had a plan, but you see, losing my status changes things. We're gonna take a risk and visit a boss a hardcore Ironman cannot visit. And skilling wise, we are well on our way. It's going to take some theory crafting, but we do have a plan to complete this list. Also, now since we're doing passive grinds, we're going to review our total level after each episode, and we're ending on level 631. Next episode, we're going to need something like 114,000 Chaos Runes to get from 52 to 83 Magic, and it's going to be a blast. I'll see you guys then.